into the later stages of the night and into the later stages of the tournament here for the DreamHack All-Stars Winter Clash for Heroes of the Storm, as it's getting late here in Jönköping. And we have the beautiful Northern Lights to keep us entertained here, whilst we also have Heroes of the Storm action coming along. Second semi-final of the day, mYinsanity going up against Fnatic, as we have what is sure to be another great best of 5. We've already had Team Liquid advancing on to the finals so far. And actually we can take a look at the brackets to update you as to what is going on so far here in those semis, with Team Liquid laying claim to yet another finals position. And who is going to join them? Will it be Fnatic or will it be mYinsanity? That's the big question. But to reiterate, guys, here so far, what a feat it is to see Team Liquid in 4 DreamHack finals alone, with 3 already under their belt.
Yeah, it seems like they have quite a special connection with DreamHack. We mentioned that a little bit before, where sometimes a team or a player, they'll have such just a liking for a tournament, like either what it stands for, or the way that they feel when they are here, or the way that they get treated, or the meaning that they attach to winning a trophy of a tournament with that title. DreamHack, it's a household name in the eSports community. Sweden, of course, a huge eSports country, and DreamHack has been around forever.
It was actually the first tournament that properly had like an offline big, huge tournament in Heroes of the Storm. So maybe that's what they refer it as. For them, the best and biggest, or one of the best and biggest tournaments that we have out there. Much like your story with WCG, that was probably the same thing. You know, it was the tournament when you started playing games that you identify yourself to and that you wanted to do well in. And even though that might not have necessarily been true over time, you know, because there's more tournaments with more money. That's also true in Heroes with Road to BlizzCon and BlizzCon.
Sure.
As much as, I mean, as long as you start playing at a time where you feel like this tournament, this is the one you want to do well in, it's going to stay over time.
And that could be the case with Team Liquid here.
Yeah,
might just be a coincidence.
Definitely could be. And of course, now we move on to our second semi-final, which is going to be between mYinsanity here and Fnatic. Now, both teams well touted as 2 of the best here in the tournament by the other teams themselves, having scrimmed with them, having seen their past results, etc. Is it for the Swedes here of Fnatic, whilst we're in Sweden, to kind of claim a way to that final and then get the potential revenge from the frag bite? Or do our Germans on mYinsanity push a little bit further with Wubby, who's also a Swede?
Yeah, so I'm a little bit biased here. I'm not gonna lie. But
oh, we knew that.
And I talked to Nurok actually about his upcoming match, and he said that they were doing pretty well in scrims before against Fnatic, and they said that if they were able to pull off their game, their A game, they should be able to do it. But of course, Fnatic, they beat Team Liquid, who just played so dominantly strong against Team Dignitas. Certainly no easy nut to crack. So it is some sort of weird maze and riddle almost that you can never escape or never expect any team to just blindly dominate another one.
Is that a kind of statement here in the European scene? If Fnatic get to the final and we see a Team Liquid Fnatic final again, similar to what we saw at Fragbite Masters, 2 big tournaments in a row, both these teams getting to the final.
It's a statement, actually. That Fnatic and Liquid are doing well right now.
Well, thanks for...
I mean, you're the one who asked that question. I gave you the answer.
I asked the questions.
I'm just looking at that statement from Nurok. I don't remember any tournaments, and of course I'm a different person, but where I was like supremely confident, where I said, if I play my A game, I can win.
Right.
Like, usually when I'm very confident, I'm thinking, I am going to play my A game and you will see me win. Like, it seems like almost like wishful thinking. If I play perfect and my opponents mess up, I'll definitely win. So it almost seems like maybe Nurok is not as confident as he's trying to make it sound. Who knows though? There's one thing for sure. Team Liquid has only dropped 1 series in this tournament, and that was to Fnatic.
Yes.
So maybe Fnatic is the biggest threat to Team Liquid here. Team Liquid is already in the finals. Fnatic has another challenge to overcome first.
Yeah. Let's take a look at these teams a little bit closer now. Let's talk about Fnatic specifically. Yesterday, what we saw from them was very, very strong presence. I would say that the Virtus Pro series was a little bit less so overall, but we saw amazing plays come out from them during some of those later stages in there, especially Quacknix. I think he's made a household name for himself. You may as well call him a toaster. Everyone's going to want one.
Wow. I mean, Todd, somehow when James says it, there's no confusion about that word.
Yeah.
Isn't
I
there?
like
though.
it.
Wait, what word? What happened?
No, household. You know,
Oh,
Kendrick has a
yeah.
different way of saying
No,
it.
you're right. You're totally right. I don't know.
Done and dusted.
Yeah, between Vortex and Quacknix, there could be a really strong emphasis on Falstad play, but of course they're not meeting each other yet. It's first going to be Fnatic versus mYinsanity. And mYinsanity,
Hey, you're not Todd?
they just what's that?
Say Todd in a second. Continue.
You both played Warcraft. It's the same. Go on.
mYinsanity just got picked up by this organization.
Yep.
And so this is a big moment for them where very soon after someone believed in them, they can try to make good on that fake. And that could be a very special meaning for them, at least enough reason for them to at least go to the grand finals.
Yeah, and it's a good thing that you mentioned, Grubby, because I know for a fact that the atmosphere in mYinsanity is very familiar, and it's very almost like in a family, you know?
Okay.
Everybody's sticking together, everybody's taking care of each other. I mean, the manager from Team Spartani, which was the organization that featured them earlier, came over, and he's good friends with Nomi, who's the caster for the team. So everybody's pretty much intervened with each other,
Yeah.
and I like that very much.
Everybody's filling their role, you know? Yeah. Like
I
they've
don't know.
got a caster, they've got
That's a
5
deep
players.
statement.
Yeah, 5 players.
It's always
Everybody's
important to have
doing
a
their
caster.
thing. They've got a manager, so everybody's doing their duty. Kind of like you on this desk, Grubby. You are there for the jokes and the analysis, and we've got a lot of analysis out of
Is
you.
that why I'm here?
You've done really well so far. Praise from Todd himself. There you go. But
That was
before-
actually a jab, but you guys missed it.
Before we get to our semi-final, of course, we can hear from these two teams, see what they think about the semi-final that's up and coming.
This tournament is pretty important for us. We only played online before, and so it's just huge for us as a team to see how can we perform, how's our synergy offline, how are we actually performing offline, like every one of us individually and also as a team.
Our main goal was, of course, to just make it out of the group stage, which we did it last night, so we're really happy already. But now we have really gotten our momentum up, and we feel really comfortable moving on, and we're here to... Now the new goal is, of course, to claim the title.
It's gonna be interesting. Like last time we met them, it was a very close game. They backdoored us in the end, and it was an insanely good call by them, but we would have won if we realized it earlier. So yeah, it's just gonna be very close, and I respect Fnatic a lot right now.
I think it's gonna be really, really tight games. Yeah, the score is relevant, and I cannot predict it at all, but as I said, as long as we get the better draft or feel really comfortable in our draft, I think we should beat them.
Quacknix sounding confident. As long as they get the better draft, they think they can do very, very well here. So that's kind of an interesting notion. They seem confident in general coming into this tournament, and with the addition of the members from Pirates and Pajamas and ATN as well, Quacknix as well has really come into his own and really shown us some very good
That was a lovely interview. I really enjoyed it. I especially like how a lot of these Heroes players and pro gamers, every single time they asked about like, what do you think made you win or made you play well, they're like, we won the drafts, so we won the series. It's like, why do you even play the games? Just like leave it at the draft. They almost always limit it to that. It's really weird to have this mindset of like, they had a good draft, they won, we had a good draft, we won. Like certainly, it doesn't end at the draft, right?
I mean, is there money in a fancy Heroes of the Storm manager video game to just do drafts and then, yeah, okay, we won, it's okay?
I think there is.
Yeah? Great. Let's
Heroes
do that.
of the Storm manager. You do the draft, and then the game simulates the results for you.
Fantastic.
Sounds good.
Buy new players for millions of dollars.
Back in 2015, as you were mentioning, $6 billion for those kind of
For
transfers.
Shrimpy,
Only.
of course.
For Shrimpy. For Shrimpy.
Only 6 billion, man.
Only. So this is going to be an interesting series for sure. We've seen mYinsanity be very aggressive on the other side of things. We've seen them even, kind of go a little bit beyond that. Some of the games that they had in their previous series for the Decider weren't quite as aggressive as we were used to seeing them going for things like in the group stages. So they've definitely shown a little bit more versatility.
What I really liked about this semifinal stage so far is that we've seen different drafts, we've seen different kind of early games. Last day, for example, in the group stage, we have a couple of games where there were no kills until 20th minute or so. And right now, teams are really stepping their game up. They're willing to commit more risks to secure victories. And I think the pace of the games has just increased dramatically.
Yeah, we've had some sudden death. We had some crazy core rushing, like literally with like 2 heroes trying to race faster than 4 on the other side that somehow managed to do it.
It's so funny, because every time I die next to a 10% core with Leoric, I'm like, oh, it's okay, team, I'll go full Leoric. And it's just like 5 people waiting right next to me there. And
Yeah.
I'm in ghost form, I'm coming back, and I'm like, oh, I wish I could just go through the ground. Like, you hit the shield once, but
Yeah.
yeah, it was different here. It was different here.
Match of the Black King.
Yeah, match with the Black King did
And
a bunch. But it was really close, and yeah,
Scratch that shield.
we're seeing more of that early game action coming in that you were talking about. Also because we're seeing heroes like Thrall and Damage Karazin, so it's all a lot more lethal. We saw a lot of teams before that hiding behind double warrior, double support, single assassin, that kind of thing. So it's very stable comps that have a lot of posturing. You're just waiting for someone to go out of position, and probably they're not. And this is why it's good that we have alternate objectives, because it allows people to go out of position, focusing on them. But now, with all these playmaker heroes like Falstad and Brawl, there's a lot of rapid maneuvers going around on the map.
Do you think Fnatic as a team has a lot of energy about them? You have people like Breeze, for example, who are going absolutely ham at 3 a.m. at night when they're actually winning somehow.
We could have used him on the caster's desk here.
Yeah, there'd be a lot of shouting. Imagine him becoming a caster. Oh my god, that would be ridiculous. But for sure, I mean, he's almost in essence like a cheerleader, kind of like rallying them on constantly. And when he is a warrior as well, he is almost in effect choosing when to take those in engagements. And when you have someone like that powerful behind the character, surely that's a moralizing.
I think it must be great for morale. Like every time you're doing well, like you kill somebody, you know, he's like, yeah, getting right in there, motivating you extra. As long as he doesn't do it when you're losing as well. Because like if you lose, he's like, what? Like, you know, that wouldn't go so well, but I'm pretty sure he doesn't do it.
Sucks. No, but it's actually true. Like almost every human is of course very different in character. But one thing that is almost the same for everyone is like mob mentality and like the enthusiasm that you get when you're that excited and when you're showing it. Almost everyone can benefit from it, but too many gamers are like a little bit held back. You know, they're not screamers like Breeze. And so he is really a resource in that sense for the team, for optimism and morale. It's true.
Definitely, definitely. All right, before we get actually into our semi-final, our second one of the day, let's head over to Nasira, who's with the players.
Thank you, James. And yes, I am here with Nurok from mYinsanity. And of course, there we go, Quacknix from Fnatic. I was already afraid to say that wrong. But so I want to know the same question that I did before. Do you have anything to say to them?
Yes, I would like to say that we are going to show those kids how to play Heroes of the Storm.
Oh, what are you saying back to that?
I'm just going to say good luck and have fun, and we will see.
Okay. Well, we're going to see how that goes. So let the games begin. Oh, and a handshake, of course. Thank you, guys.
Wow, wow, wow. Oh my god, all the fighting words at this tournament. First Bakery, didn't go so well for them. And then now Nurok, who is looking to show these kids how to play Heroes of the Storm.
It's really uncalled for. But of course, if they lose, they got beat by kids, so it's...
it depends how you mean. Maybe it means like educational, like you on your stream.
What do you mean?
Hey, you.
Oh, show this kid. Oh, yeah. Show this kid how to play.
Basically, all
Heroes of the Storm.
I see. They're going to show them some new builds, have fun.
It's like us who's dramatizing very innocent comments. I'm sorry.
Whoopsie daisies.
Well, the most I learned
What a
from
nice
Gabby's
guy.
games is how to do proper memes instead of learning how to play Heroes of the Storm.
Yeah, that's
I don't know which one you've been watching.
Quacknix didn't play along though. Just a good luck, have fun. We'll see.
Oh, Quacknix. He's the Guster. That's actually that's a really weird name.
Just try not to
Ignore that
fall
one.
out of the map. You shouldn't say that when I mighty gust you.
Yeah. Well, here is Blumby on screen as we go down the roster as well, and there we have our Swedish player on the mYinsanity roster. It is Wooby, previously of Fnatic, actually.
Yeah, used to be Navi's manager, but he was a little bit too good to be a manager, so they actually made him play on Fnatic.
What a hard life. A little bit too good to be a manager. Oh no!
I don't want to play. All right.
I don't want the glory. Oh.
All right, I'll dominate. It's okay.
Then, of course, moving down the line as well, more mYinsanity members with Mr. Darkmock here. A lot of them from previously ATN rosters in the past. Darkmock
played a very convincing Thrall yesterday, I gotta say.
Yeah, great Sylvanas play today as well.
Yeah.
Oh, there's Nurok.
And of course,
hey, Chair.
He's showing kids how to play Heroes of the Storm right now.
Yes.
That's why he's not here.
Streaming, educational-wise, doing well for himself. Oh, no, that's Nurok. We found him. All right. And then, of course, over on the other side, we have Fnatic. Really touted as one of the better teams here at the moment with Smexy Style, kind of the duo of Smexy Style and Quacknix coming over from Pirates in Pajamas.
He's the support, right?
Huh?
He's the support, Smexy Style.
Yeah, and they've got such good synergy about one another. So they really, really work well together. And then, of course, we have Shad, who was also previously on ATN, but ATN had a lot of players because they had 2 rosters for a while. All right, then moving down the line, of course, Mene, you know a lot about this gentleman, Todd.
He's one of the funniest guys, I think, I've met in the hero scene.
What's the best joke he told you?
Wow.
It's not really like a joke as much as it is like, you know, banter and stuff.
No,
like,
I get it. I was just
like
putting you on the spot.
most of the stuff cannot be said on air, so
Cool.
good try.
There is Quacknix, guys, as he gives us the eyebrows of confidence.
Eyebrows
Actually,
And meanwhile,
Actually, I have a very funny story about Mene, where he basically plays almost only Kael'thas and Jaina. And yesterday he had to play Tassadar because one of those was picked, the other one was banned. So after the game, he came to me, he's like, what the hell, I almost never played Tassadar. I was like, yeah, that's supposed to be a role. He's like, yeah, but like, I'm only good on Jaina and Kael'thas. I tried to play Sonya, but I was too bad with her, so I got level 10 for the gold, and then I stopped.
Actually, he was telling me level 9, so he played like a few more for fun.
Okay, yeah. But like he was telling me about how like he definitely struggles a little bit more on other heroes than Jaina and Kael'thas, which is actually a big information.
Yeah.
If his opponents know about it,
Yeah.
it's not so hard to limit somebody in those picks.
Yeah, you pick one of them, you remove the other. And what is he gonna take? Tassadar? Apparently, yes.
Yeah.
And I think that's often a very underrated feature, what makes a good pro player here in Heroes of the Storm. Having a large hero pool allows your team to actually pull out more comms, and makes it very hard to predict for the enemy team as well.
I mean, it's one of the things that Team Liquid,
Yeah.
I won't say relied on, but had in their pockets for a long time in the European meta. They would always have pocket picks. They would almost always work out because they were mechanically strong as well. And even now in this tournament, it's still prevailing.
Yeah, both Todd and I actually had a semi-attempt to play with some people, somewhat competitive, just to learn a little bit more, see what it's like and so on in Heroes of the Storm. And I'm sure one of the challenges you face as well is where you think you know the right hero to pick in a draft, and everyone is like, well, you know, I don't play Falstad, I don't play Falstad. But it's like, but dude, Falstad is absolutely tier 1 right now. Yeah, I don't play him, I don't really like him. It's like, okay, cool.
There are even more extreme cases of this sometimes when you play Hero League and like the last guy, he's supposed to take support, but then he goes like, I got no support. You're like, what?
You entered Hero League and you don't play support?
You have to, just in case you're that 5th choice.
But yeah, like, usually though, when you play in a team like this with the pro players, they all kind of know what you can and cannot play.
Yeah.
So it's already going to be, you know, in the back of their mind. But yeah, you do need to have a good pool of heroes that you can play and pick from. And it's definitely a weakness.
I mean, is that extra pressure overall for Heroes of the Storm players? The meta is changing so quickly, so avidly, that you have to be able to adapt so much on the fly. You almost have to be awake every single moment, knowing that you need to be practicing this, you need to be practicing that.
That's why, I think there is definitely this kind of pressure, and that's why I think having players on your team like, you know, JPL, Shrimpy, Vortex, who can just play so many heroes, Lowell, you know, even changing class sometimes. Some true flex players is so important.
All right. That's where also an analyst or a team manager comes into play, right?
Look at that!
There we go.
Jaina removed.
Oh.
This could be a
and they got the first
pick.
pick. They got the first pick, so they could pick Kael'thas.
Oh, that's probably gonna happen. mYinsanity going with some amazing early game bats already.
You just pick up on everything and make sure.
Instant copy, guys. It's the new brand. All right.
Going for a very quick Jaina ban here. And is it going to be the Kael'thas to put Mene in an awkward position?
Yeah, I think so. That would make a lot of sense.
That story doesn't sound so funny anymore, does it?
Now it's just
Come back to bite them.
And then they take Tassadar away. And then,
He ends up on Sonya no matter what.
I mean, there's still room for them to actually go for something else, although we have been seeing Kael'thas very heavily competed for in that first pick role. And there we go.
Mena! Good luck.
Why are you so happy?
One chance. Because, well, it's not completely looking down on, but like someone who only plays 2 heroes, I find it a bit limited. So I find it kind of humorous.
I think he plays mostly 2 heroes.
You know
that,
but you know those guys in the Hero League, it's like they have 1,600 games on Zeratul and their next most played character is like 5 games on Mal. I just enjoy taking Zeratul.
That's extreme.
And it's like, good luck, bro.
I love how Todd just single-handedly destroyed Mena's reputation as a pro player. I mean,
no, he's really good. Especially on Jaina and Kael'thas.
They're gone.
Well, maybe Insanity.
I don't think it's like, I mean, he told me.
Not even a Tassadar! What is Mena gonna do?
Sonya,
The thing is,
Sonya next.
Listen, he told me he's not as good with Tassadar, but I think he maybe he's not like top level. But he did
Sure.
I think they won that game as well, the one that he was talking about.
Yeah, there was on Infernal Shrines, and they still won that one.
Todd, do they just play 4v5 now?
Joe Gall, so he doesn't have to do movement. He can still play Gall.
God.
playing on Battlefield of Eternity, by the way. Is it the first time we cast this map today?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
We saw it yesterday, but it's been a while.
Yeah.
And that's quite funny. And
Abathur should be a...
Sonya, great.
Sonya, it's true.
Oh, are you
Todd,
kidding me?
you've jinxed this.
Keep talking.
He can just,
Wow.
he can play Vala, I guess. Or
It
something.
turns out that all of Mene's hero pool is actually a valid 5v5 draft.
Very meta, meta, to be fair. Fnatic has their bans now, and looking over at the other side, getting a bit more to normality here. I mean, what would be a really good target for them here?
There has to be an Abathur ban because of the map. I think he's
That's a good point.
strong
Well,
here.
That's a really good point.
They will get the next pick, so if they want to play it, maybe they can not ban it and let mYinsanity do it.
Sure.
Yeah, they could.
It's actually going to be Morales.
Okay.
Uther.
That ban on Uther.
Wow. Big support, removal, emphasis again. Morales, Taronda, and Uther.
That kind of snap ban, is that mYinsanity in essence predicting what they were doing, or does you not care?
I think
what
they
their
had
opponents were
carefully laid out plans. I think
Yes.
nothing about the draft surprised them yet.
doing? Yeah, it seems that way, because you don't just click that quickly based on, like, if you see something that surprises you at that point, you'd be like, oh, okay, well, we need to step back and think about this a little more.
So Fnatic, what is their next move here? They
Maybe it looks
Go
like
with
Tauriel.
Tauriel.
I mean, Karazim is the only top-tier support
the-
left available that we have right now.
Yeah, of course, Brightwing kind of top tier, but we usually don't see her at this point yet. And we already have one flying thing. Karazim
there we
indeed
go.
coming out here, not too big of a surprise. mYinsanity, which one are they going for next? Another support, maybe another warrior?
What about an Abathur and an additional warrior? And would Tassadar and Abathur support be enough?
Not for Sonya, maybe.
Shield time, Brightwing and Tassadar.
Brightwing, Tassadar combine
Yeah.
really well.
Yeah.
Tassadar does the burst protection, and Brightwing tops everyone off in between.
Fnatic needs more damage here. Who is it going to be? Vala?
Could be Sergeant Hammer.
Rainer?
Rainer, yeah.
Yeah, Rainer's really solid.
Turn force.
I think he can play Rainer.
Rainer would be like the smallest, the least surprise here.
Your hammer prediction isn't something that's wildly out of the realms of possibility, though, to be honest.
It's a good battleground for it, but
Yeah, it would be much better with Medic, I think.
Rainer's
Because-
like a better hammer, actually, like to be honest.
Yeah, because of the things you were mentioning before.
I mean, he has a stun, Hammer does not. For the rest, they both have a good auto attack. Like, I'm not sure why you really
There's
want Hammer.
good, and then there's Hammer good.
Sure. The Germans say Hammer when something's going really well, so
That's actually true. You see a lucky girl, or you see a good-looking girl, you say, you're looking hammer.
Cool.
I feel like I'm going to get slapped in the face when I go back home to Germany and say this in the
Just
street.
give it a try, man.
Don't poison my mind.
just don't
with this.
hammer them. There we go with Sylvanas. Really good damage dealer. And yeah, why not? Why
Oh,
the
Manny,
hell
make me
not?
proud, man.
Who is Benny going to play?
I
Sylvanas?
think Sylvanas, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Sylvanas, for a lot of players out there, probably well-versed if he's going for the ranged assassins, even though she's a specialist.
You don't think he's going to be like, dommage, I took possession.
What?
You realize only French people get the joke.
Oh, whoops, I took possession.
Do you have an Sylvanas guide on your website that he could check out real quick?
No, unfortunately not.
Yeah? No one-stop Sylvanas guy?
Not yet. Maybe after this game, after Many shows me how.
Exactly. Or the other team considering they were going to educate them, regardless which one.
Well, strong drafts either side. The story of Many is like the more fascinating part, where the heroes are really, quite standard picks. And who do we think has a better draft here?
Maybe mYinsanity?
I like Fnatic's draft.
Yeah.
It feels more solid to me. As much as it's Sonya emerging on the other side with a Kael'thas being protected. Actually, Kael'thas probably isn't going to die unless they get some good flank off. But I still like having ETC there. I think Mosh Pit is just such a massive gameplay changer at the moment.
Yeah, Mosh Pit plus Sanctification in this case.
It's just really sick.
Yeah.
And Falstad has been a really powerful hero in this tournament as well.
Maybe they... Well, I mean, never mind. They never go wombo. But picture this. Mosh Pit, Sanctification, Wailing Arrow, Hinterland Blast!
It's not going to happen.
On paper, it sounds really good, but
yeah.
you need to catch people. And if you pick this heroics, people are going to spread out and you lose horribly. So.
Well, it is Quacknix as we get into game number 1 here for our next semi-finals to determine who is going to be moving on to face Team Liquid. Let's get into it. Fnatic versus mYinsanity.
All right, here on the left side in the blue team, we have Team mYinsanity, Blumby on Muradin, Crosby on Kael'thas, Nurok on Tassadar, Darkmok will be playing Sonya, and Wubby playing the support right wing. Here on the right side in the red, we've got Team Fnatic, Breeze playing ETC, Smexy's down, Karazim, Quacknix on Falstad. Of course, Tyrael being played by Shad and Mene on the Sylvanas. They're going for a 5-man top. I wonder if they just go for the tower immediately with Sylvanas.
Yeah, and then Quacknix could still just fly bottom, right, to not miss that much XP. We've actually seen that being done by Team Liquid in the last game as well, although they didn't really have Sylvanas with them.
And mYinsanity chose the wrong side. That's an instant tower at 20 seconds.
That is insane.
Mark. 400 XP.
That is actually quite cool. I mean, it's not the end of the world, but
it's equal to a minion wave at this point.
It is equal to a minion wave, and also, let's not forget that every damage you do to structures here is going to be eternal, and the Immortal is going to have an easier time when he's pushing on that lane.
Yeah.
So, similar to...
Of course, he will go to the lane where there's not a tower down, but Fnatic is trying to actually take a tower down on both lanes.
Exactly, right?
You usually see Falstad flying bottom, but they actually went for 4 to the bottom. It's quite funny. Of course, now they're being matched in power. 4v4 here in the bottom lane already. mYinsanity chose the wrong lane to defend.
Yeah, and
stuff happens.
Look at that, we see a little bit of a variation here on the Tyrael build. No Regeneration Master this time. Of course, Battlefield of Eternity is not a map where you can accumulate a lot of Regeneration Gloves. Only has 2 lanes. Not really a lot of time to fight on lanes anyway when the Immortals are up. So I really like the choice here to go for a little bit more of a more aggressive build here, empowering the Smite.
Yeah, Battlefield of Eternity is one of the maps where you lose the most minion waves as well, because there's such an extended emphasis around the Immortals sometimes, and fewer globes no matter what, even if you get all of them. So going for that Smite Evil, 25% bonus damage on enemy heroes with his E ability.
Talking about this fact though, Grubby, what happened to the good old Cyan Fusion on Tassadar? I mean, he still went for Conjurer's Pursuit.
We saw it used yesterday once. Together with Second Strike and also Static Charge. It was on Infernal Shrines. There's a few less globes there as well, especially when you're very busy, but both is really quite okay. Conjurer's Pursuit is better late game. They get the cars in there. Yeah, Conjurer's Pursuit is better late game, and Cyan Fusion is better early game.
Yeah, I hear you.
So, yeah, it's both quite okay.
Yeah, especially with the scaling changes that were coming with the previous update. It really takes a while. Now, Tassadar being put a little bit under pressure, and Shed, oh, is he gonna fall? Living Bomb, or Chain Bomb still going strong. Actually, Living Bomb, excuse me there. But man, these teams are not messing around, and almost looked a little bit sloppy how both players died here in that early engagement.
Yeah, well, it happened, and now you have to move on. Fnatic got that tower, but with the 2 takedowns from mYinsanity, they got the experience lead. Not level 4 yet from Fnatic, and if you're short by an inch, you're still short by a mile. It doesn't matter, even if you're very close to 4, you cannot fight just yet.
Yeah.
Now as they reach it, and the Immortal starts to rotate, now Fnatic can fight again.
Yeah, and mYinsanity, they have to sort of be very fast here. It's almost like a DPS race in World of Warcraft, because in the first phase, the enemy Immortal is always going to locate after the flight closer to your base. So if you get a good lead in there already, it's going to be really easy for you to finish it off.
Well, it's Fnatic that actually takes the Immortal here. A minimum amount of shields on that Immortal, considering mYinsanity did nearly as much damage on it, but narrowly lost out on that race, actually.
Yeah, just by a small margin here. Now, Whoopi, the mobile Brightwing that he is of course an excellent Blitzsoaker here. I don't think Brightwing is needed here anyway, because unlike the Punishers, the Immortals usually don't go for enemy heroes. So it's really up to you to dodge the AoE stuns that the Immortal is capable of unleashing here.
Yeah, it's just those circles that warn you where the stuns are going to happen. Then he's got this quite powerful attack, only ever going for buildings with this auto attack. Now, oftentimes you'll see actually the attacking team with the Immortal pushing in the opposite lane of the first and second Immortal with 4 people. But this time you saw in the Immortal lane, and that's because Fnatic has Sylvanas, and Sylvanas is the best hero to empower your objectives from walking down enemy lanes, because you can disable the forts and towers with her trait.
Very good point. So the reason why you normally want to push on the opposite lane where your Immortal is you want to get as many towers in the early game as possible to push your global experience meter even a little bit more.
Exactly. Starting to push top now. Every time that Fnatic chooses to push somewhere where there's not an immediate defensive response available, Sylvanas is going to get so much value. Now, don't get me wrong, 4-man would kill this fort either way, whether or not the fort is firing back. But it's just keeping a little bit more minions alive there, just adding a little bit extra damage here.
And look at the movement, look at the rotations here coming in from Fnatic. They know that the next Immortal phase is just around the corner, and they actually cancel the push here in top lane to get the Bruiser camp ready in time. They're not going to cap it. They're actually going to wait a little bit longer, I think.
So it looks like they're kept. Oh, yeah. Oh, whoa. Breeze, almost. Yeah, they're going to wait till the announcement of the new Immortal. Actually, mYinsanity captures it
a little bit earlier,
quite early, which means that it can be cleared before the next objective starts.
Hey, yeah, so that's actually a really nice point to observe here. Both teams are at equal level percentage here, both hitting level 8 relatively soon. Now, the next Immortal has been announced, and it's going to be interesting to see which team clears the Bruises a little bit faster, which team then regroups themselves in the middle, and which team maybe goes for a cheeky move here. There we go, Fnatic, a lot faster than mYinsanity.
Yeah, Fnatic's rotations have really been on point in this game. Just the way they've been moving around as a team with that Sylvanas and going for the Immortal has been a true joy to see. Levels are equal, lots more damage on this Immortal already, and they just need to tickle it a little bit more to make the Immortals rotate at the 50% mark.
Exactly, and once you're in a spot like mYinsanity right now, it's going to be really hard to abandon your own boss while damaging the enemy one. So that's a little bit caught between a rock and a hard place. Breeze taking a lot of damage now, but no real commitment here. Nice haunting wave here by Sylvanas, getting away in the nick of time here. Now Bloomby on the Muradin, of course, he's a very stable hero to scout ahead and maybe guess the position. And mYinsanity now, they're going to have to try to damage the enemy Immortal from Fnatic a little bit, but at the same time, they need to keep defending.
Yeah, I think with Brightwing top lane, it's a 5 versus 4. It looks good for Fnatic. Smexy's down, taking a lot of damage there from the chain, from the living bomb. He's got about 5 HP.
Are you kidding me? Is he gonna get away?
Bloomby with the Stormbolt.
Wow, I can't believe it. That was so great, but Smexy bought a lot of time for his team to actually not fall victim to the onslaught that came from mYinsanity, but still, a very nice... Wow, they're even losing a second member here. What is going on? Fnatic looks so crisp on point, but mYinsanity, it really shows their strength of how to focus the target, how to track it down, and how to eliminate it.
Yeah, I really get what Fnatic was trying to do there. They saw Brightwing from mYinsanity in the top lane, so they figured 5 versus 4, easy peasy. Let's muscle our way in and do that last 3% damage on the Immortal that we need to do. And somehow, the Immortal, he was on mYinsanity's side. Of course, he's got the same color. But it worked out really well. We had a lot of damage coming in there unexpectedly on Karazim and ETC, and it just became so frantic. And now actually mYinsanity gets those 2 takedowns, gets the half a level lead, and can start to work on that Immortal.
They're now level 10. They now have all the trump cards in their hands. They have the powerful heroic abilities. Fnatic just needs to stabilize here. They are not really committing here. Now they're low, just a little bit too late here. And let's see what they're going to go for. We see Mosh Pit, we see Sanctification, of course. It worked very well for Team Liquid in the previous years, you know, while ETC is giving a party.
protect him as well. And
yeah,
keep
Turio's
that
pretty
party
much the
going.
bouncer. He's letting people, he's keeping them outside, you know? You're not going to get to that concert.
Don't stop this party, you're not invited.
Yeah.
Divine Palm coming in from Karazim, of course, solo support quite likely here. And mYinsanity is going to be pushing in with 4 heroes there alongside that Immortal. Their goal, their objective here is doing at least 75% damage on that fort. The 2 towers are given.
Yeah.
The fort, almost very certainly actually, it will go down. But
I think so. Look at that force wall, you know, preventing Fnatic from defending in their favorite position. Mighty Gus not doing too much. Darkmok just using the Ancient Shield to get back right into the action. And the Immortal is still fairly healthy, and I'm not sure if Fnatic can actually hold this top lane, I mean, for now, but the inner defense ring should be enough to actually stop the onslaught here from mYinsanity.
I underestimated the power of this second Immortal a little bit already. They're moving in, even getting a second tower here probably off this gate if they dare to stay that long. Looks like not. Shad moving in with the Tiro, coming here with the flank, and mYinsanity takes the high road.
I really like the small little moves that mYinsanity is doing here. You know, Tassadar trying to move, to hinder the movement from Fnatic, and then they are casting Psystorm, Flame Strike, everything on there, while it is really hard for Fnatic to move away in time. That's great poking, actually.
Now, mYinsanity looking at level 13 as the next objective, after which they can continue to take more advantageous fights. So far, it's working out. mYinsanity's draft strategy, the way they've been playing, even though I thought Fnatic, we both thought, had really great rotations.
Yeah. Somehow mYinsanity makes it work here. Brightwing also a really nice pick here to keep several allies in good shape, of course supported also by the Tassadar. You see these 2 heroes together quite frequently actually, because they, you know, they're a good pair. They're a good dream team here.
Yeah, the main problem for Brightwing is to protect those in the greatest need when they need it, like during the fight. When they're taking lots of burst damage, it always puts Brightwing at risk herself as well, and that's where Tassadar covers her weakness.
Exactly.
Doing those big shields.
And once again now mYinsanity here with a nice little lead here, having unlocked the 13 towns. Of course we see Prescience on the Tassadar, makes him really slippery, very hard to catch. And then we see Shield Dust. Shield Dust, you know, is actually quite useful against heroes like a Sylvanas, like a Falstad, just a solid talent overall, providing protection against any source of ability damage.
Yeah, it's even very nice to combine it with Bouncy Dust at level 16. However, there's such a great alternative talent for Brightwing at 16, Greater Polymorph.
Yeah.
Increasing Polymorph duration from 1.5 to 2.5 seconds. It's almost too hard to give that one up. So much crowd control.
Yeah, hands down one of the best Cho'Gall counters. Unfortunately, Grubby, we haven't really seen him all game or all day long. But eventually, I never give up hope. We're going to be there. Blumby not hitting the Stormbolt here on Breeze, who was on the retreat. So far, but they of course need to wait for level 13 themselves. Now they're gonna have it. Relentless on the Karazim, pretty standard, you know. Team mYinsanity has quite a lot of CC. We mentioned the Polymorph, we mentioned other abilities as well, so great pickup here.
It's really great to defend 5v5 with your own Immortal defending, because you get bonus stuns. I'm very surprised that mYinsanity is doing that.
Yeah.
It shows a lot of courage, a lot of daring. Of course, Chain Bombs are spreading around quite nicely.
Yeah.
Fnatic has the advantageous position here, and I feel like this should be slightly more aggressive.
This is just incredible. They're using all their powerful poking and zoning potential here. It feels like Fnatic, they can never stay in one place for too long, because there's constantly a Psionic Storm, a Force Wall, a Flame Strike, a Phoenix. It's like a raid boss in World of Warcraft. You never stand in the fire, pretty much.
Yeah, but you just gotta go through the fire sometimes. Jumping through a fire, you may find yourself unburned. That's kind of what Fnatic needs to do here. And the longer they wait, they go into
engagement. That's exactly what they needed. Out of nowhere, Fnatic going in with that mighty combo here. You can see, when you can hear Breeze, he's letting out all his frustration that might have accumulated in the early game, because it wasn't really going their way. But one surprising move here, and they're back into the game. But they still have a long road to go. The Immortal here from mYinsanity is still in pretty good shape. Bloomby now triggered the Avatar, trying to block as much damage as he can. Also, you can see Sonny here. Nice damage here. The own Immortal supporting Fnatic here. Great job.
Sylvanas is coming back again. She was defending a camp and was momentarily not joining in this 5v4. They might have gotten a bit more out of the fight, but it's difficult, right? There's a camp pushing into the keep there. So once again, trying to attack that top Immortal. But that's the interesting part about how this map works.
Yeah.
You cannot attack and defend in full force both. when you are behind in HP on your Immortal, what do you do? It's so difficult.
And you could say that Phoenix, you know, during the engagement from Fnatic when Mosh Pit and everything was pulled, wasn't ready. A bunch of other stuff, maybe a Forceful, and wasn't ready. A lot of cooldowns, but they got what they wanted. In the end, they had enough poking power to bring down Fnatic's Immortal when it mattered. And you could really see that this ensured them the second push here, this time on the bottom lane. And they're already doing a lot of work, so the Immortal can do even more damage.
Yeah, and these two towers are going to put them within an inch breadth of the level 16, and they're going to keep pushing on. The Immortal has 1.5 health bars here.
Mighty Gust as a preemptive measure here. Breeze was trapped behind the Force Wall, also being lifted up by the Gravity Labs. So really nice reaction here coming out.
Oh, this is a guaranteed keep kill. mYinsanity, will they try to finish it off here? 16 versus 14. It looks like it's possible. It could be one of the quickest games of the tournament. Blobby jumping in, missed the Stormbolt.
Oh man, the Immortal is still going strong while mYinsanity is keeping Fnatic busy. They want to prevent them from damaging the Immortal. Look at that, he's dealing so much damage to the core already. Force Wall splitting them apart, breaking Fnatic's formation. Divine Palm now is maxed out. Oh my god! Oh, that was so close. He would have almost died to his own Divine Palm here. mYinsanity with the notch calls, and once again a second Mighty Gust. Now Tyrael trying all he can, but it's not gonna be enough. I can't believe it. 14 minutes and 27 seconds. This was the fastest game that we've seen today, and mYinsanity looks like they managed to play their A game, exactly what Nurk promised us before. They are looking really solid here, Grubby. I mean, it's just incredible. The way they controlled the Immortal in the middle of the map, the way they used their poking abilities and their zoning tools was just outstanding.
Yeah, and Fnatic unable to really commit to a fight. They got that one kill there, but mYinsanity, true to their pre-game name, mYinsanity, a very quick game there by them. And Fnatic were unable to catch their power spikes and make use of it. Playing a little bit scared after a very strong early game, and perhaps it is that draft strategy from mYinsanity paying off here. I mean, look at that. A very great way to finish off the game.
Look at that, only 5 kills in total. 4 of them went to mYinsanity. So this was quite a solid performance. And Fnatic, after looking so strong themselves yesterday, this is a little bit of a surprise here.
I have to reiterate what you actually just mentioned about the zoning potential that they had in the middle of the map there.
Yeah.
It seemed like every single time they wanted to move around, there was a storm, there was something in their way to just kind of slowly deteriorate their kind of position. It was aggression through zoning on a map where zoning is so important.
Yeah. I mean, not only can you rely on your own zoning abilities, but also on that permanent threat coming from the Immortal, you know, stunning the people in the AoE. Look at that, Forceful doing such an amazing job. Fnatic cannot rally, they cannot circumvent on their core. It just takes so long, and mYinsanity, they're not letting themselves get stopped here, protecting the Immortal like a team member.
Everything didn't go too well for Fnatic there. I mean, even Smexy Styles' palm didn't pop as he dashed away, realizing that they were never actually going to pop it themselves. Yeah, That's the saddest feeling as a Karazin when you're that low ever.
And that was a good Divine Palm. He cast it on himself when it was 4%. Yeah. It wasn't like one of those 15, drops to 5, didn't get proc, fairly easy. But no one finished him off. Very good coordination from mYinsanity.
Fnatic lacked a little bit of damage, maybe. With Sylvanas and fast as damage dealers.
Maybe a little, yeah. But it was also, it was also those Force Walls, the Chain Bombs, the Phoenixes. Every time they wanted to move forward, they were 70% life. It was quite sick.
But again, I mean, when it comes to mYinsanity, they're still consistently showing almost every single series that they are a versatile team. Yeah. This wasn't a complete, we're just going to dive on you and try and kill you. This was a much more different method to take to almost the same problem.
And we're going to have to correct ourselves here as well, because if I remember correctly, at the beginning of the tournament, we brandmarked mYinsanity as a team that can only play aggressively. Yeah. They only know how to go face, how to go ham. But they actually showed the total opposite here. They know how to play a patient game, zoning, you know, poking a little bit and playing the objective flawlessly.
Yeah, definitely. So a really good start here for mYinsanity in the semi-final, of course. That doesn't count out Fnatic just yet at all. We have seen them being able to make recoveries. But does this give a little bit of momentum to the side here of mYinsanity? Are they hungry for it? Because right now, since they joined mYinsanity, since they've come into this tournament and made top 4, they look really quite hungry.
They started from the bottom. They were actually the only team, I think, that went here by train. I'm not even gonna lie.
Traveling
because
tourism class.
Nurk is afraid of flying, and his whole team said, you know what? we're gonna go by train with you as well because you're a bro.
Really?
I'm not lying. I'm not kidding.
Are you kidding?
No. When it comes to German teams, I would never kid. Kappa.
And you shouldn't either. Because otherwise Kendrick's not going to let you go.
Kendrick's going to get you. You won't be in the next epic plays of the week video.
The next train to Netherlands shipped off with my head in shame.
He's going to start a new series for you. Next, the best fails of the week.
Epic trains of the week. Well, that was a pretty strong game by mYinsanity and finished really early as well. Much more deliberate attempt to finish the core and a much more sure attempt as well than what we saw in the last series, level 16 versus 14. So they took their chance to finish it off. Well done.
Do you think the draft was strong here for mYinsanity? I mean, they did limit a little bit of what Fnatic had to offer. And all jokes aside, when it comes to Mene and his hero pool, they did limit. They definitely did.
Yeah, I think they did do both a limiting, not just of Mene's characters, but also Mene plays really good characters.
Yep.
Like ranged damage dealers. So it wasn't just about Mene, it was also about limiting the opponent's damage output. Kel'Thas, Jaina, and Tassadar, Kel'Thas, Jaina, Tassadar were all unavailable to him.
Yeah. And limiting their poking potential when they were equally being able to dish it out.
You could really see that they had that plan in mind, you know. They were building a comp that is, you know, based upon zoning, poking, and by banning certain heroes away that counter this strategy or that are actually good in a similar strategy, which is very important on Battlefield of Eternity, of course.
Yeah.
They had a really clear plan in mind.
Well, moving on to game number 2 here, how is Fnatic going to be able to step things up as we figure out which map we're going to be going to? It looks like it will be Infernal Shrines here between the two teams. So yet another map from the Diablo universe, but yet another map where you can have zoning be so crucial on a map like this.
Of course, we might see a higher prioritization over heroes like Johanna and Leoric. Here on Battlefield of Eternity, you can finish off the objective really well with heroes like Kel'Thas and Raynor and ETC. But here, Johanna and Leoric do really great.
Well, we are into the draft, and surprise, surprise, Tyranda's gone, Tassadar's gone, and Kel'Thas is first pick.
Well, Kel'Thas, Mene is going to be a lot more comfortable again. And of course, damage has already been guaranteed. Kel'Thas can pretty much do it by himself.
Yeah, mon Dieu, indeed. So Mene is going to be a very happy panda right now.
And before he actually feeds. And he's definitely going to be a lot happier about this game than the previous one. A first pick on Sonya here out of mYinsanity. A little bit surprising, or you guys think that's fine here on
it just
Infernal
fits
Shrines?
mYinsanity's playstyle overall very well. I mean, they have a lot of strong players who can play Sonya. They usually go for Uther, so I wouldn't be surprised if it gets picked along here with Sonya. They may actually want to save. I don't know. I still think Jaina is a very strong pick here on this map. We haven't seen her too frequently all day, but maybe she's going to sneak through. Oh, ETC, never mind.
I was going to say, we were almost to the point where ETC had survived a ban phase and a first pick phase.
That is very true.
So, nope, he's going to get picked up, so they have their front line well and truly under wraps now, unless they wanted to add something like Tyrael later on for a triple warrior bruiser-ish combo, but that can quite easily be not gone for here. They still have a lot of options.
Now, Fnatic probably expected to take heroes like Muradin, at least. And I'm even very surprised with the amount of Abathur bans. He doesn't always get picked, even when he doesn't get banned. And it's so great on this map. Who is going to finally take him?
I think there are just not many players out there who are really top-notch Abathur players, because he's without a doubt one of the most difficult heroes to actually be an expert at. So maybe it's just not in the roster, maybe it doesn't fit into the game plan. We don't know, but I agree. Abathur very strong potentially on Infernal Shrines. Could also work with either teams, as we've seen so far, depending on the drafts.
We're waiting to see what the next heroes are going to be.
What are you guys feeling coming up next?
Uther, of course, is...
Yeah, Muradin is quite likely
Muradin
to come out. And let's say Jaina is possible, but of course Kel'Thas was already picked for them, for Fnatic.
Now, we've seen Darkmark on Thrall already. Do you think it's likely, although they have a Sonya already, but it would just be such a good interrupt for the ETC, right? Is it mYinsanity pick ETC?
mYinsanity does have ETC and Sonya.
Okay, never mind then.
Yeah,
So,
ETC,
There's a little bit
Sonya,
of a brain fart there.
and it's
That's
actually
okay.
going to be Murden Falstad, of course.
The
Falstad.
dwarves.
The two dwarves.
Okay.
They are,
always remind me-
they are the new J&J, Jaina and Johanna.
They always remind me of the Lord of the Rings characters, Legolas and the dwarf. What's his
Yeah,
name?
they, were,
Gimli?
they were inspired by
Legolas.
Muradin and Falstad.
Legolas.
Yeah, it's like two dwarves. Oh, I know they were different race, but
One of
they're
which
like-
throws hammers.
yeah, I mean,
What?
they're both measuring how many kills they can get. Anyway,
Oh, yeah, no, I can see the
I
comparison.
think they have an interaction like that actually
Yeah.
in the game.
Yeah.
I would say Falstad's going to win.
Yes, probably. Now, Vikings will get removed. Is Abathur gonna see removal? Probably
Maybe.
not. Probably not. Maybe support ban is quite
There's
trending.
still the imminent threat of an Uther protecting
yeah.
Sonya and an ETC during a mosh pit.
I think you're right,
The thing is, something that we've not really seen at all is, because Abathur has obviously been banned out a lot, is still the threat of like an Abathur Jaina. It's actually still really
And-
potent.
It's been weird with TRL how there is less prioritization as well, even though it's been picked sometimes. Definitely fell off a little bit from, you know, that time not too long ago where it was like first pick, first ban material, a lot more so.
Uther gets banned. That leaves the possibilities of Tyrael Mosh Pit once again with a better damage. There's also Abathur Jaina possibilities. Tyrael Jaina, they could already pick up their support in Karazim.
Yeah, I think going for Karazim now will be probably quite good here, considering that Fnatic don't have their support either. You don't want them to really have it, I would say.
Morales would be okay as well, considering Fnatic mostly has a backline damage team.
Oh.
Yes,
Oh.
finally, Abathur. So
Logical decision.
maybe that Jaina.
That would be nice.
Sonya is a decent copy for Abathur, but starts with 0 Fury.
But Jaina is god tier.
Jaina's got here.
Yeah.
Jaina is
Yes.
almost equivalent of the all-time Tychus copy with Odin.
Oh, yeah.
My lord.
Yes.
Double Odin.
I don't know if I want to go that far, but she's pretty good.
If they go Jaina, I'll be a happy guy. I'd say like that composition is still extremely powerful. Having a copy on Jaina that isn't fearful of being burst down in the slightest to just cause a lot of disruption at the front. But Jaina basically becomes a melee assassin and does it really well.
And of course, there are two synergies with Abathur and the main hero. Like when you copy Jaina, they give each other chill. So they give each other chills. They can proc critical off each other.
Yes.
And with Zagara, the creep tumors also stay after the copy dies. So there's like a bunch of cool copy targets that have extra synergy with their original host.
And I like the fact that mYinsanity doesn't pick Jaina right away, because what they know is that Fnatic has Kel'Thas already, and as we've
Falstad,
highlighted
yeah.
as well,
Yeah.
as already,
Why would they?
double spellcasters doesn't really make sense. Also, they need other priorities right now. They have enough damage already.
Fnatic could go for Zeratul and
Nova.
yeah, no, not anymore. They don't have support. I was just thinking like Zeratul maybe to snipe the Abathur, but they're just gonna go for a better wave clear in Johanna. And now
Just gonna play a standard and solid comp here. looks like.
Malfurion, maybe?
Malf probably
Yeah.
could be right wing, but that's really risky. That might not be enough heals.
No.
Yeah, especially for the burst potential that can come out of an ultimate evolution if it is to be Jaina in the final pick.
Yeah, there's enough canceling power here against CTC's Mosh Pit, I think, already.
Malf's also really great to clear the inevitable toxic nest with the Vile Nest upgrade probably, because Moonfire is one of the best ways to target those things away. Check every bush with Moonfire before you walk into it. It's gonna potentially save your life.
I am really surprised that Fnatic did let Abathur through in the bans, because as you say, the nests are such an issue on this map. moving
Whoa.
through. It will be
They're
Brightwing.
really going for it.
Man,
They want some more disable, I guess.
yeah. For ETC, for Sonya.
Polymorph gonna come in really handy. Brightwing can help keep
And of
everybody
course,
alive.
countering the split push from Abathur with Brightwing and then joining later is really powerful.
I have to ask, do you have any other theories other than Jaina here in this position?
No.
No.
Do you think mYinsanity maybe would have been inclined to be Brightwing themselves? Is it a little bit of a steal?
No. Look, they have Karazim.
Whoa!
Okay. Double
Yeah, but
Rainer, double Sonya. Yes.
You never thought that Karazim could be a damage dealer here, right?
Yeah, but that's like 3 melees already against Kel'Thas, against Falstad.
Yeah.
Yeah, true.
But
Well, Rainer over Valak.
also, I don't really see a synergy
I mean, over Jaina.
for Brightwing's most dominant hero build or talent build with, you know, a lot of shifting and a lot of shielding. Because normally you want to pick that if you have a very aggressive bruiser, a melee assassin to protect him a little bit more. And I mean,
only Sonya does big spell damage here.
Exactly.
ETC, Karazim, Reiner, not really.
Well,
very auto attack based.
Yeah.
Instead of for Malfurion, sorry, for Brightwing over Malfurion, were they looking for extra things to disrupt ETC? They would only have Kael'thas and Muradin to really stop things from happening
Johanna.
there.
Yeah.
For oh well, yeah.
By the way,
Actually, that's
Falstad.
okay, it's quite a lot. Never mind.
We always talk about how Reiner with Giant Killer is really good against Warriors, but imposing presence actually comes in really handy against him in particular.
Yeah, but Muradin can't take. Oh yeah, he can take it, but he takes stone form.
yeah, not going for stone form is actually a really big issue.
Is there a world where we see split push Abathur here with Monstrosity?
No,
No, you don't think so?
no.
Okay,
It's
well,
very
let's-
likely.
Unlikely. That's a more political answer.
all right, well, let's get into game number 2 here between mYinsanity and Fnatic in our semi-finals to find out who is moving on to the grand final. Take it away, guys.
All right, here on the blue side, we've got, on the left side, in fact, we've got Team mYinsanity, Bloomby on ETC, Nurok is going to be playing the AFK Slug Abathur, Wubby on Karazim, Darkmork on Sonya, and in the very bottom, Reiner, the sole assassin on the team, is going to be played by Crosby. On the right side, in the red, we've got Team Fnatic, Mene on Kael'thas, phew, Smexy style on Brightwing, we've got Breeze on Muradin, Shad being played by actually playing Johanna, and then Falstad there at the top being played by Quacknix. How could it be any different? Very nice to see him back on that trusty hero.
I mean, can he do it again? Full of fancy maneuvers, flashy looking plays like he did yesterday. I mean, Quacknix has the talent. He has, you know,
The experience.
the shiniest, the experience to become a really star player here in Europe. And similar to Bakery and others who have seen a lot of popularity over the last couple of weeks and months.
Now I see the 4-man rotation from Fnatic going strong. They had really good rotations last game in the middle, but dropped off a bit. I mean, in the beginning, dropped off a bit in the middle. Now starting to push onto Karazim. Once again, Gravity Lab, Stormbolt.
The Wubby, he was right next to Abathur. It's actually quite risky when you position yourself straight next to the gate as an Abathur, because you may fall victim to a really big flame strike or even a hammerang from Falstad. There's quite a lot of abilities that have a large range here to damage an Abathur who's not taking care.
Now all the talents are expected so far. Maybe Sonya Shot of Fury Warpaint is a bit of a mix-up, toss-up sometimes, although Shot of Fury has been seeing way more use.
Yeah.
Abathur could be going for the Spike Burst talent, maybe the Survival Instincts on Locust, but he did in fact go for Envenom Nest. 75% extra damage on all his Toxic Nests over 3 seconds, which will look like poison damage, of course, so adding a bit of extra.
Look at that, man. They have a lot of wave clear. Fnatic, that is. Sonya, Johanna, still very strong with her Condemned. Then, of course, Kael'thas with a follow-up. And even heroes like Brightwing or Falstad, they can clear several skeletal defenders at the same time. So positioning and when you arrive at the shrine is going to be crucial here. And mYinsanity, Abathur, you know, he shines in the middle and late game. They have to be a little bit more careful because he cannot provide as much fire and mind power in the early stages of the game.
Yeah, exactly. Trying to win the objective here, forcing it as Abathur can be risky.
Yeah.
Ideally, you buy as much time as possible.
Exactly.
If both teams finish at 39 skeletons, theoretically, Abathur team doesn't even care whether they get it or not. They just want to make it last. But Fnatic, they are under pressure to make it happen really fast here.
Bloomby.
Oh, nice Gravity Lab.
Sniperino and Breeze going in with a Dwarf Toss. Wow, that might have actually escalated there, but it wasn't enough for now. But flashy plays here for now.
Yeah, and Fnatic needs to make those things go really quickly because of all that. They did do it. They got the objective, even fell behind in XP because of the Abathur effect.
Yeah.
But will now be able to get 1 tower, probably not even 2.
And that's, of course, something we haven't really touched yet. Abathur has 2 ways of soaking experience. One, by using Symbiote on a target.
4 actually,
4?
right? Like the Symbiote counts as a body. Anything near it that dies.
Yeah, that's
Toxic
one.
Nest that explode anything anywhere.
True.
Last hits by Locust, and then his own body being in a presence. But yeah, it comes down to 2 types of soaking, as you said.
One is with abilities, the other one is with his real body.
Right.
Just not very muscular and buff, but still enough for soaking experience.
Exactly, as long as he's near enough. And that's the one that we see underused in Hero League, actually, with Abathur's playing overly safe. Of course, this Abathur needs to play more safe than most, because even though there isn't a Zeratul or Nova hunting him, Falstad can fly onto him anytime.
Oh yeah. That is a very good point here that you make, Grubby. And the best way to detect an Abathur is by judging where the locusts come from, how healthy they are, because it tells you the distance. So Falstad, if he actually guesses the correct position, he can just fly in, whoop, whoop, and finish him off.
Exactly. You can see the timer of that locust when it will run down, and by seeing that, you can judge just about where it originated from and where Abathur, at least until recently, was.
Yeah. Now we see both teams have unlocked the level 7 talent gates here. We see the...
Look at Brightwing, Johanna, and Abathur. It's like, just click the pictures that look the same. I learned this when I was 4.
Nice colors, purple and yellow.
Yeah, but these builds are actually legit. It's not just about looking pretty together.
Exactly. Also, you know, Abathur could be in the party as well, a little bit of green. But there we go. The next shrine is going to be activated fairly soon, this time in the top half of the map. In the very top position here. Blumby, teams should avoid taking a lot of damage before the real fight for the skeleton defenders has actually started. So not taking too much unnecessary poke damage is quite of the essence here. Blumby, though, being the tanky cow that he is, always should be the first one to make contact with the enemy team, Fnatic in that case. They just don't want to let them get through here. Sonya, Whirlwind, really good ability to clear the skeleton defenders, and it's going to be an Arcane Punisher, by the way.
Arcane Punisher, big prize. Fnatic wants that prize. Starting to move in there. Johanna is killing some of those skeletons, driving mYinsanity out.
Let's take a look where Abathur is. He's still located in the bottom. He's soaking as well. Look at him. He's marching forward. That little slug knows no fear. At the same time, though, let's not forget about Quacknix. He is the one who should react first when Abathur gets a little bit too cocky, a little bit too arrogant.
We know that Quacknix cannot leave his team in a pinch here. It's also out of fly range, so Abathur is doing the safe thing here. I actually think he could be even closer to the minion wave, Abathur. And there he is. There he moves closer to it, recognizing that Quacknix's presence here is required. 25 skulls apiece, just about. Fnatic slightly drawing ahead here.
And you actually have to give credit to mYinsanity, because oftentimes it's just, you know, Abathur's doing a great job, blah, 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 but as a 4-man group here, they have to work well together, have to coordinate their abilities, and now they might get actually engaged on Blumby falling. The ETC is no more. The last concert was given, at least for now, and that means that Fnatic is going to take this shrine here. But as you said, Grubby, I think mYinsanity has bought more than enough time, considering the resources they had available here.
Yeah, I mean, you lack that body. Abathur, as you said, mid to late game power is where he really shines. Yeah. So what Abathur was doing, double soaking the waves. Bottom with his body, middle with Symbiote, and leaving his team completely by themselves. Yeah. That means ETC got killed, Karazin gets killed now, and they lose this fort. They fall behind the level, but it's not necessarily unexpected with Abathur on your team.
Still pretty weird to see that mYinsanity is getting quite behind here in terms of overall XP. Normally Abathur
slightly too much, right? But it's those takedowns, you know. It's and also, of course, when Quacknix is against you in the lane here, you cannot fully get all the XP.
Yeah, exactly.
That's Abathur.
Yeah. So we see, of course, the evolution here coming in for Abathur.
More speed, Hyperion.
Yeah, nothing out of the ordinary for now. On the other hand, we see Fnatic here.
Wow.
Oh, that was actually... Whoa! Nurok is in a lot of trouble. The slug has slugged enough. Oh, it's not going to be enough, though. It just looks so funny when Abathur tries to get out of harm's way with that tiny little hands grabbing in the ground. Oh, my God.
Now, he did copy someone. That's the quickest way to actually get away. And he copied Raynor. And where's that copy? There he is, Nurok there. So he's going to go back to original position when he comes out of that one.
Yeah, there we go. He's back.
Because I think like copying someone takes about 1.5 or 2 seconds.
Faster, yeah.
Whereas like burrowing away with your Z is maybe like 3 seconds. So it's the best way to get out of a sticky situation. What a ambitious hunt there by Fnatic. So spiteful, going with 3 people there trying to get Abathur behind the gate.
I mean, why not? They could have tried, right? I mean, Mighty Gust, not the longest of cooldowns available.
I think they wanted to blow him out of the gate. But it's like just the wrong angle. Cool move. Not epic play of the week.
No, definitely not. But what we see here is pretty smart. Both teams trying to take the Bruiser Camp. Of course, the Fallen Shaman, even more powerful than the regular Bruiser Camps, the Knights and the Priest behind them. So they're taking them to provide pressure in the respective lanes so they can fully focus on fighting for the Shrine control here.
Yeah, exactly. It's pretty good timing all around. The Shrine is already activating. Everyone is too busy to start it right away with Camp still at the top. Falstad is still defending the onslaught of that fallen Shaman. Really needs to kill that Shaman in particular, not the dogs as much.
Yeah.
There we go, finishing it off. Now, actually attempt to assassinate Falstad if he stayed there longer.
Yeah.
Look at that.
I mean, Darkmog is a very patient hunter. Is he going in for it?
If Falstad, the Ancient Spear misses. You know, if Falstad were to fly to the objective,
They could have interrupted him.
they knew he had to fly slightly closer to the bottom.
Yeah.
That's what they were trapping for.
Yeah,
It was
yeah.
such a cool move.
Those are actually the hidden plays that you don't normally see that much because they take so much thought and so much preparation to be executed here. Wooby, Radiant dashes out of the way, but gets stunned by the Punisher. Although it's just a mortar Punisher, he stuns nonetheless, and he's still going strong on those towers. Hyperion coming in to de-escalate. Matt Horner shooting people from Fnatic left and right, but is it going to be enough to drive them away? I don't think so. The Punisher jumping once more, and this time ETC is sort of trying to block them away. You know, they're not following up. I was getting a little bit too hyped there.
Yeah, I mean, they were level 12.9. They wanted to fight probably in the next 5 seconds, but not right away. Immortal was still attacking, the Punisher was still attacking the fort as well. So either way, well handled by Fnatic. They're now down 1.3 levels, but equal in talents, and that's what truly matters.
Yeah, exactly. So now we see, of course, all talents being even for now. Do we see anything out of the ordinary? Abathur here going for an improved...
Hold your ground is not always the one that gets taken on Janna, but it's certainly quite safe when you've got the triple W build at 147 already. It's either hold your ground or spell shield usually. And since we already established that Sonya is the only relevant spellcaster here on Team mYinsanity, spell shield wouldn't make sense. So
do you like Burning Rage these days on Johanna?
Sure, but it's so greedy, right?
Yeah.
After triple W with level 4 Eternal Retaliation to also go for Burning Rage and Blessed Hammer, it's like, wow.
Especially if you only have a Brightwing to back you up in terms of healing.
Yeah, exactly. You already took no regeneration challenge. Whoa! Crosby! Going for Kel'Thas there. Lots of damage on him. We even have the copy here on Raynor, so they want to make use of that.
Nurk here indeed with a copy past the Raynor. Hey, man. Twice. It's actually...
Hey.
You don't want to get spammed by that.
Yeah, so getting the Moonwell here, getting 2 towers, and even casting Matt Horner. Justice from above, shooting here at this fort.
Very nice. Nice gravity labs and thick focus fire coming in from Mene, and he really shows that he's a lot better, doing a lot better on Kel'Thas than he is on Sylvanas. mYinsanity on the retreat. Another target gets exploded. This time it's the cow. And wow, Fnatic almost there, getting close to 16. And I don't see any chance of mYinsanity here to stop them right now.
Yeah, I mean, they could go at least for the wall, maybe even for the keep. This was just staying 1 or 2 seconds too long is what mYinsanity did here. They already lost their evolution, already lost Hyperion, and Fnatic used that beautifully. So many opportunities like this don't even get used. But they certainly did, and Fnatic is being on point in this game. Very nice chaining their stuns together, immediately deleting Raynor, even as Karazim was disabled and was unable to cast Divine Palm on Raynor.
Now, mYinsanity is in a little bit of a pinch right now, because normally you don't expect games with Abathur to go this way. You normally want to have at least even XP by split soaking with his body or
by this time already.
By this time especially, exactly. So how do you come back from such a position? Oh!
Crosby on the Raynor, checking that bush is the last mistake he'll ever make until the next time that he comes back.
That Divine Palm would have almost gone off here. Just at the very last seconds, it didn't actually work.
Raynor's betrayed.
Screwed it over.
Actually betrayed him.
Because that's actually very important. When you cast Divine Palm, you don't want to cast any shields, any additional healing. You want that target to die very fast. And this time, adrenaline rush, man, was a little bit too much there, Jimmy. Calm down.
Hey, man, I got my own healing. It's fine. To be fair, though, he would have died anyway.
I think so.
And even if it
Absolutely. He was so caught out of position there. And now Fnatic on the roll here. The train has been going, and you know, they're trying to get at least a keep here. An Arcane Punisher is the deadliest.
Oh,
we all know about that already.
Look at all those lasers coming in, doing one damage burst every tick that you're in there, or even like twice a second.
Brings back bad memories from Diablo 3 when you fight against those arcane bosses.
Or Lightning Enchanted in Diablo 2. Oh, those bosses are tough, man. Look at the damage on Darkmog.
Yeah. That is actually quite nice here. The Arcane Punisher, he doesn't even go for the core. He's certainly no SM Orc player. So he goes for the heroes instead of the core. Anyway, mYinsanity, they're moving out now. trying to push these lanes back a little bit in bottom and top. Raynor actually trying to do his best there. And Fnatic, you know, they can play very patiently. They can even wait for the next Punisher phase. By that time, they may perhaps be level 20 if they continue to soak well. So there is no need for them to rush things. And if you rush things, you saw what happened to Dignitas earlier.
Yeah, a few failed court attempts in those series there, as well as some successful ones, obviously. The game's ended in the end. But a few, yeah, false starts. Abathur not providing the value that was needed yet.
Yeah.
And it's very much the implied strength of Falstad that actually denying him the way that he would ideally like to play.
Yeah.
We haven't seen a single Falstad flying on Abathur and killing him. And yet the threat of it has forced Abathur on the back tail, I guess. He doesn't have any feet.
Yeah, and also, I mean, unlike maps like Blackheart's Bay or Garden of Terror, maybe Curse's Hollow, this map is actually very synchronous and very linear, so it is not so hard to predict where Abathur could be hiding, because you don't have that many narrow choke points or hiding spots. But now we're gonna get to see another teamfight potentially, disengaging here, Quacknix that is.
Yeah, now the Mighty Gust used to disengage from Evolution is quite nice. Actually, both are 50 seconds cooldown. So it's not like every time someone uses Evolution, use Gust, it's going to be like a great trade.
Yeah.
I do think it's good. I do think it's smart, actually. Evolution cooldown doesn't start counting until the Evolution is dead. So it does take a little bit longer than Gust. So it is actually a great trade every single time to make it.
Yeah.
But even if you don't look at that, Fnatic just wants to wait until they get to level 20.
Yeah.
And have you noticed how little of a thorn in the side of Fnatic Abathur actually was?
Yeah.
Have you seen like a lot of Toxic Nest slowing them down?
I was going to say exactly that Merchant got actually slowed by Toxic Nest. I haven't seen that before.
Time I see it. Which is really quite thick. And I almost have to wonder if maybe like Nurok, not as good maybe on Abathur as a player like maybe Shrimpy or ADRD.
Yeah.
It's difficult to say because of course it's the team effort, the draft that matters.
Yeah.
But we don't really see Abathur being very strong here just yet. Or maybe Fnatic is just blowing it out of the park. It's quite something they're doing here.
Of course, a very important point you bring up there, Grubby. You shouldn't always pick heroes just because they look good in the roster, but you should also really assess your strength on that hero. If, you know, you're not practicing it as much, maybe still go for something you feel more comfortable on. Now,
level 20 has been reached.
Oh yeah, and mYinsanity, they have to get out of there, and if they don't, Bloomby might actually fall. Once again, mighty mosh pit though. Let's not underestimate that, but it's not going to be enough. The talent advantage is just too massive. mYinsanity on the retreat though, although they're actually doing considerably well, but Wooby is going to explode here right now. Many on the pinch now. Darkmouth, he's furious, he's raging, but it's just not enough. There are too many enemies around him. And also, Crosby here.
Hearthstone!
Oh!
Hearthstone! It did not work. What a surprise.
Kumbi, look at that flanking maneuver. Falstad might actually take care of the cow, the Raynor, excuse me, right, that was the cow, right now.
Yeah, that's, I mean, it was the last-ditch attempt by mYinsanity. They were down like 25% in strength, having 3 levels down, and then the talent as well. It was almost an impossible fight. And as you said, they did fairly well, considering they were 3 levels down.
The last team fight would have actually looked a lot different if the talent gap wasn't that extensive. Yeah. Anyway, GG, well played by Fnatic, closing in that series 1-1. I mean, the German team looked very strong in the previous game, but they definitely also showed some weaknesses here. Maybe susceptible to those decisive pushes. Abathur certainly not looking very strong. They may have to come up with a different strategy next draft.
Very nice play by Fnatic, doing the equalizer here in this best of 5 of the second semifinals in the DreamHack Winter Clash, DreamHack All-Stars Winter Clash. It's a 1-1 now.
Yeah.
2 to 3 more games will be needed to decide the victor, who has the honor, the privilege of going into the grand finals of this tournament and facing Team Liquid to take it all.
Oh yeah, Todd, how do you feel about Mene's performance this time? Are
pretty darn good when he gets chaos dash, no? That's what I thought.
That's what I'm talking about. Let's break it down.
41,000 heroic damage. The second player to have the most, actually, even in the game across both teams, was 25,000. So that's what happens when you give my man health and king. Yeah?
Admittedly, he did dwarf everybody else, but now one begs the question, did they let him get what he wants again? But I don't know, actually, if they even caught on to this kind of thing here in terms of what's going on with him. I think, you know, the first game was a little bit of kind of a fluke in terms of that draft to force Mene onto something else, right?
Well, if they're respectable pro gamers, you would expect them to know at least what casters know, no?
Well, was it Virtus Pro who didn't know that they win to Itasada every time in the
Yeah, well.
We did mention it before that sometimes that teams don't cotton on to those kinds of things in terms of like win rates, but
sure, of course, they have many considerations and they may not look at all those things.
Some of these fights were absolutely chaotic, all over the place, and Wubby just barely dying off at the very end there as well. But overall, you can see once again that Quacknix has full control over these fights because of when he's using Mighty Gust, etc.
Yeah, I mean, it's true, but still, make this a level 19 versus 19.
Uh-huh.
And I think, I think like the, what was it, mYinsanity team could win that one.
Right.
Like quite easily with how it was going.
Yeah.
But it was very much not a carefully orchestrated fight by Fnatic. It was not like, oh, we're going to do like this, posture. They just went in like ham once they got level 20. And it's the right way to do it.
Yeah.
I like the kind of decisiveness that they're showing here.
I feel like actually, I would even go as far as saying as that way too many teams, they didn't try hard enough to properly go into a fight when they were one talent up. And
agree.
It's kind of bothered me.
99% agree. No, 100% agree, actually.
Especially at the level 20 of all things. I mean, when you watch Chinese Heroes of the Storm, I feel that the Chinese teams really exploit that. Once they hit that 20, boom, they are in there.
Oh, they're attacking all the time, even without
definitely
even more so.
Yes, but they will try and even end the game from that point because they know they have such a huge advantage.
But isn't it interesting that Chinese players, no matter what game they play, they always tend to be a little bit more aggressive than other regions? I mean, I know for a fact that in other MOBAs, or even in Warcraft 3, I think they had the reputation to be very unpredictable and very aggressive.
In StarCraft 2?
Well, why do you think that is?
I don't know.
I know why.
Oh, you know why?
Yeah, the tutorial.
I would love to hear.
The tutorial version in Chinese and the campaign, the rider's the same for every game. You only attack, you never back down. That's rule number 1. No, I'm just kidding. That would be funny,
I really
though.
thought you knew something.
No. Imagine they have like a different campaign. It's like, you never ever back down. Otherwise, you drop out of the game.
I remember how the campaign was for me. Move Rainer here, attack this minion, and then, of course, in China, it'll be like, attack,
go.
attack.
There's like spikes behind you chasing you and like...
Shoot! When I was very young, my father told me about like regional differences in chess. Russian players, American players, and I was like, wow, that's so cool that they're playing the same game, the same rules, and different nationalities, different regions find different ways to play. There was like, you know, there's like the Russian opening, the Italian opening, that kind of thing.
Chess meta.
Yeah, the chess meta. And now, of course, in Heroes of the Storm, StarCraft 2, all the other games that we love to watch in eSports as well, we have that. We have regional and stylistic differences. In America, it used to be very strongly about rotations and really good team play and coordination. Europe, very defensive, stable, but also creativity. China, very aggressive. And in Korea, everything. But mostly about really good mechanics and micro, actually, if you had to name one thing.
Definitely. No, but that really came to a head when we were actually at BlizzCon, right? And we saw the 2 weeks where all the regions had the opportunity to mingle with one another, practice with one another, and then learn from one another. And now we're here at DreamHack with these two teams facing off each other in the semifinals. And we do see between almost all of these teams, a huge amount of similarities. They feel that they've figured out the current EU meta, but who knows what else is going on in the world, right? This is kind of crazy what we see. We always see Quacknix on false start. He always somehow gets it. He's able to play so well with it. Fnatic as a whole, you know, they mesh so well, and you saw it in that game. They were able to mesh well, come back here into this best of 5.
Now, of course, you're not going to see very elaborate, special strategies that require a lot of investment in time and practice, and that have very little application at a tournament where it's not like you are the absolute world champion and you had 3 months to practice. Many of these teams, as we said, new rosters. They have new rosters, so they are unable to practice that much together already, and that's why we see a lot more stable builds, stable hero compositions, and trying to make that work together. Even something like Abathur here didn't work out as well because it requires more coordination.